Welcome back. Judge Eileen Cannon postponing former President Trump's classified documents case. Now, this trial was supposed to begin on May 20th. Now it's unclear when it will actually start. And this decision comes after special counsel Jack Smith and federal prosecutors at the FBI admitted in a court filing that documents were tampered with. They seized documents during a Mar-a-Lago raid, and they are no longer in the original order and sequence. Trump's legal team says Smith's team had, quote, failed to preserve critical evidence in the case. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan now investigating whether evidence was altered or manipulated after it was seized by the FBI. I talked about this with former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe on Sunday Morning Future. Sunday, watch. Did the FBI tamper with this?
That famous photograph, what we have now learned, and the government has had, Jack Smith and his prosecutors have had to admit, is that was staged, and those top secret classified sheets that all the public saw and said, oh my God, look at those top secret documents, those were placed there by the FBI. And what Jack Smith admitted in court this week was that, in his words, they mishandled the classified documents and misrepresented those to the court. Maria, that's a kind way of saying we tampered with the evidence. This reeks of crossfire hurricane when the Obama-Biden administration fabricated evidence before the FISA court, lied to the court about it to pursue Donald Trump.
Wow. Joining me now is Wisconsin Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, member of the House Judiciary and Financial Services Committee. Congressman, what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, Maria, when we arrived in D.C. on Monday afternoon, Chairman Jordan briefed the committee on basically, as it was laid out by Ratcliffe, it's evidence tampering. And certainly has prompted a letter that came directly from the chairman to once again lay out the case that this entire thing has really been compromised. So I think, you know, what you're looking at is the entire thing obviously being delayed beyond the election, which is a huge victory for President Trump at this point.
Well, I mean, I don't understand that. So they laid everything out the way they wanted to lay it out, and then took the pictures and leaked the pictures, sent them all over the internet. Meanwhile, they had tampered with it.
Right. I mean, if you kind of talk to staff who have been digging deeper into this right now, a lot of what was presented was obviously staged. And it's just unbelievable that they would go to that length. And if you think about the full raid on Mar-a-Lago, it's unbelievable kind of what has happened now that we understand kind of the facts. Yeah,
it really is. The House Judiciary Committee, meanwhile, planning to mark up a resolution next week to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for refusing to hand over audio of former special counsel Robert Hur's interview with President Biden. So you and your colleagues have said that these recordings are crucial for the impeachment inquiry, but the DOJ is saying it's not relevant. Can you tell us why you believe it's relevant?
Yeah, I mean, we had Special Counsel Hur in front of the committee, as you reported, and many other news outlets reported. And the one thing we were looking for was, you know, we wanted to get a feel for the way the president handled a lot of the questions that he was asked. And it was brought up that day when the special counsel was before the committee. And ever since then, we've been trying to get our hands on what DOJ has, which is an unredacted full interview. And they have been stonewalling us all along. So again, I go back to Chairman Jordan, who's got his hands full right now. But certainly I think the committee is going to move forward with contempt. Now we'll see what happens. Will they give us some unredacted, portions? We're not sure. But yeah, I think we're serious about it right now.
Well, I mean, I know you're serious, but with all due respect, what does contempt mean? I mean, what is that really going to mean for AG Garland? I mean, a lot of this stuff going back and forth, I feel like the Republicans can't get it over the finish line. Like, where is the accountability in all of this? The FBI tampering with evidence, Trump and trial, all of these indictments. It's an election year. I mean, you know, people want to see some accountability here. What does contempt of Congress mean?
Well, so far, I mean, the pattern has been we have to take it all the way to the limit before we actually are able to secure the materials. To be quite honest with you, I think if we move in this direction, it will be the final kind of play that will result in them giving us that tape. If they don't, I mean, it raises a whole other level of questions that need to be answered. But I think they'll comply. That's my take on it right now.
Okay, fair enough. Meanwhile, voters are noticing all of this, the lawfare, if you will, the DOJ's two different separate approaches to governance. President Biden will be back in Wisconsin today campaigning in Racine County, talking about his so-called Investing in America agenda. The trip comes exactly 1 week after former President Trump campaigned there, Wisconsin and Waukesha. Biden will also be in Chicago later. Congressman, your thoughts on this election and campaigning as President Trump spends most days in a courtroom and Joe Biden is out in swing states attacking Trump?
Yeah, I mean, Maria, it hits home for me right in the 5th Congressional District. I'm in those west suburbs of Milwaukee, which are absolutely going to be a target for the entire presidential election. We've got the convention coming to Milwaukee this summer. So it doesn't surprise me that President Biden's going to be in Racine today. I think you're going to see, like you said, President Trump was in Waukesha last week. I think that's going to continue all the way through November because it's critical. But if you piece together Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, I mean, I really think that President Trump's in a good position to win those states and ultimately win the presidency again.
All right, we'll be watching all of that. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much, sir.